Now the video's on.
10.09 seconds.
Good evening, Davis.
Okay, we're all here. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order.
Time?
6 o'clock.
Director Davis?
Here.
Director Beatty?
Here.
Director Smiley?
Here.
Director Sangster?
Present.
Ready? Need approval of the special meeting agenda.
Oliver. Second.
All in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none.
Davis, will you lead us on the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Just in case.
Okay, special hearings, presentations, public hearing other. We have a workshop proposed fiscal year 2026-27 operation and maintenance budget for the San Miguel Community Services District.
So at the May 28th meeting, the board asked for a workshop to go over the budget for fiscal year 26-27. So that's what we'll be going through tonight. A little bit of background: the district operates 5 different departments: fire, lighting, water, wastewater, and solid waste. And two departments are enterprise departments, primarily funded through user rates and fees. Two are governmental departments funded through property taxes, and one is a franchise department, which is funded through franchise fees with San Miguel Garbage. Sorry, got ahead of myself. So the basic revenue streams for the district: property tax, fire and the lighting departments get revenue. Revenue estimates are provided by the county. Actual revenues received are usually above the estimate each year. Prior to the end of the current fiscal year, we receive the estimates from the county for the next fiscal year. They're always very conservative, and we always end up coming in over that. Water and wastewater rates. Water rates are based on the rate study. Our wastewater rates are based on the rate study, which was passed in 2018, implemented in 2018 by Resolution 2018-19. That rate study is currently expired, so the rates that are being charged are the last rate of that rate study until a new rate study is done. Water rates are based on the rate study, which was passed in 2024, implemented in 2024 by Resolution 2024-01, and there's 3 more years, including this coming year, on that rate study. Then major grants, the district was awarded $44,962,000 as a CWSRF grant for the construction of the wastewater treatment plant upgrades, which will start this coming fiscal year, 26-27, and is projected to end in fiscal year 28-29. The district was awarded $1.4 million in a CWSRF grant for the planning of the septic and sewer project, which will start in 2026-27 and in approximately 2029-30. And then franchise fees are received from San Miguel Garbage as part of their contract for the solid waste department. Here we have the proposed revenues and expenses, starting with the fire department. Their proposed revenue is $664,919. Proposed transfers for debt is $105,912. And estimated expense total is $770,593 with a net of $238. You want to go for your activities, Scott?
Sure. Good evening, board, and members of the audience. So, the activities affecting the proposed budget are the increase in staffing costs, making everything cheaper, an increase in legal expenses. We've seen a trend over the last 12 months plus of increased legal costs, so we're trying to accommodate that. Increased insurance expenses. That's another rising cost that we really have no control over. We are planning for potential grant funding requirements. We are planning for inflation and some deposits or increase in revenues related to plan check and inspection fees. So we are increased revenues for plan check fees and inspection fees. And once the fire code is fully executed, we'll be addressing that process. And the cost for the transfer includes e-payment for the engine, $86.68, and the temporary housing unit loan. So that's $92,412 in capital reserve that's being infused into the budget to make the payments for those capital expenditures.
Budget's being transferred from where?
To our budget.
Where's the transfer coming from?
Capital reserve, same as last year and the previous.
Okay.
And the street lighting department, the proposed or estimated revenue through property tax is $178,289, and proposed expenses are $178,289 with zero remainder. This year, the district is working with Engineering Partners Incorporated on a project to add additional streetlights throughout the district, including along Mission Street and River Road, among other intersections in the district. This project is expected to be able to move forward into construction in fiscal year 2026-27. For wastewater department, the budgeted rate revenue is $1,335,166. Budgeted property tax revenue is estimated at $90,420. Transfers from capital are $98,300. And budgeted grant revenue is $22,042,680. With a total revenue of $23,566,566. With expenses, operational expenses being $1,523,467. Grant expenses, $22,042,680. With a total expense of $23,566,127, with the $419 remaining. If you notice that the budgeted revenue and the budgeted expenses for the grants are the same, it's essentially a pass-through. So as we incur costs, we're requesting reimbursement, and that's being reimbursed. There may be some overlap between years at the end of the calendar, or at the end of the fiscal year, but we're anticipating full recovery of everything that is spent.
$98,300 is coming from capital reserve.
Yes.
And what is that funding exactly?
98,300 is covering part of the drawing.
Can only be used for specific things, correct?
Capital reserves can only be used for capital expenses, like infrastructure, facilities development. It can be used for engineering for infrastructure facilities development, but that's basically what we use it for. Legally, you can't use it for operational expenses. We do have a project that's using that. I can't think of what it is right now. It may be the sewer lining project for our costs related to that project.
Okay.
Probably by the time we get through this presentation, I'll remember what it is.
That would be great.
So in the wastewater department, this fiscal year, the district will be starting construction and expansion of the Chicago wastewater facility per the order issued by the Central Coast Water Resources Control Board. Construction is expected to continue through 2029, as we explained earlier. Part of the wastewater treatment plant expansion will require a change in operation and personnel. These costs are incorporated into the proposed budget. In order to ensure the district has sufficient funds to perform the projected 10-year maintenance of the plant, funds will continue to be allocated from the annual budget every year. We currently are allocating $100,000 towards long-term maintenance of the treatment plant, which equates to a little bit more than the 10-year replacement cost of the membranes for the treatment plant. So the district will always have funds to do that replacement and won't have to scramble to try to come up with $1 million all of a sudden. Because there was a delay in starting the construction, that we are almost at $1 million right now, so by the time we have to do the first replacement, we should have enough in there to do essentially 2 replacements, which will just secure our positions, being able to take care of that maintenance. For the water department, the budget rate revenue is $1,212,795. That's including the fiscal year 26-27 rate increase, which would be effective in July of this year. The budgeted transfers from capital reserve are $147,184, with a total revenue of $1,359,979, and budget expense total of $1,359,552, and the remainder of $427. The $147,184 from capital reserve is for the booster station project. There is some costs that will be incurred this fiscal year, but most of it will be incurred this calendar year, but in the next fiscal year. This year, the district will be finalizing planning phase of the SLT booster station. The district will continue with the Steinbeck litigation, which is hopefully ending this year.
I feel like Christine is the waiting room.
Wait for me.
Yeah, she was texting.
In the solid waste department, the budgeted revenue from franchise fees is $43,936 with the budgeted expenses of $43,936. And this year we are experiencing an increase in cost of repairs and replacement of trash cans and trash receptacles along Mission Street, which, as we have more people going up and down, we seem to have more and more damage to the trash cans. So it's getting more and more expensive every year. So across all departments, our total budget for 26-27 is $25,919,601, and our expenses are $25,918,517, with the remainder of $1,084. Of that, the daily operations cost is roughly 8.4% of our budget at $2,183,716. Salaries is $939,654 at 3.6% of our budget. Payroll expenses and other liabilities is $305,483, 1.2% of our budget. Grant projects, not surprising, is $22,245,864 at 85.8% of our budget. Legal fees across, my goodness, is across all departments, but legal fees is $143,800 at 0.6%, and transfers to reserves is the $100,000 that we talked about just a minute ago, and that's 0.4% of our budget. Current staffing that's been authorized, we have 6 full-time positions. Administrative-wise, we have general manager, fire chief, court clerk, count clerk 2, and a finance officer. Operationally, we have director of utilities, fire operator, field operator lead, field operator, wastewater treatment plant, or treatment facility operator lead, treatment facility operator, and utility worker. And then the fire department is currently allotted 20 paid call firefighter positions. I don't know if we want to go through this entire thing. This is a breakdown of how each position is allotted. We don't have a general fund, so each position is broken down by the amount of time that they spend in each department, or spend in each department. This chart in your packet or up on the screen just shows the basic percentage that's being allocated to each position and how they're being charged to each department. Just because it's on top, the board clerk, as an example, is 17% to the fire department, 2% lighting, 39% wastewater, 40% water, and 2% solid waste. So all the costs related to the board clerk position are broken down like that across all funds. And then all the positions are outlined there. I don't know if there's any questions on that before we move on.
Nothing for me.
Nothing.
Am I reading that right? I know you made at least one new hire down at the treatment plant. Are we fully staffed now?
No.
Okay. Well, okay, how many people do you have working at the treatment plant other than clerical? How many?
We have 4 operators at the treatment plant.
Yeah, okay, well, that's,
Well, we have 4 people at the treatment plant. We have 2 2 operators and 2 workers.
Right, yeah, okay. So you have been able to find a couple more guys then, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
You have been able to find some help. You always said before you couldn't get anybody.
Yeah, we have a hard time hiring people, but we have found a couple more people
Yeah.
that we can train.
Oh, okay. All right.
So again, the standard allocation, as was described in that previous slide, is how the standard allocation is how we divvy up things that are applied universally to all departments. Last year, it was 22% to the fire department, 2% lighting, 36% wastewater, 38% water, and 2% solid waste. And these are based on the total salaries for the district broken down by department. So this year, it's a little bit different. It's 24% fire, 2.5% lighting, 36% wastewater, 35.5% water, and 2% solid waste. So it's not drastically different, just a little bit different. But again, it's based on total salaries, and this is what we use to break down costs that are across all departments, generally administrative costs.
Kelly, Christina, can I hear you? Hear us?
Can't hear anybody.
Sorry.
Usually I can see her on my side, but I can't see
We
her.
appreciate you saying it, we can't see her.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
She missed all this riveting information.
I think she would have waited.
Sorry, this one's kind of small.
I think all you're getting.
You want to go over your stuff for the fire department again, Scott?
Sure, the font got really small on me, so give me 1 second to try to adjust that. Gotta put on a pair of glasses. So capital projects in process plan for the fire department. In order to meet the growing population and additional burden on fire protection service in San Miguel County Service District, the fire department we are exploring options for expansion of the fire district and the current fire station to allow increased staffing capabilities. So the district has currently been experiencing a constant influx of single-family homes and new construction for the past 8 years, and that trend is continuing. We have plans on the books that hopefully will be moving forward, so it's going to have a double-edged sword effect on that. In addition to single-family homes, construction developers have proposed multifamily housing projects. That is true. There is a project of 38 multifamily homes to be completed on Monterey Road. And the continuous population growth will result in demand on commercial projects to fulfill the needs of the growing population. Once again, bigger demand on the fire department, but another revenue stream, all of which will increase demand on fire life safety services. What has been done so far, the temporary housing unit has been completed and installed and has been used as planned, so it's enhancing the fire staffing capabilities and the sheriff's capabilities in town. We're working on conceptual drawings for multiple concepts and being discussed for an expansion or another building for the fire department. I did participate in the 2025 Station Design Conference and provided insight into current and future facility needs. Continuing to move forward with the process, and we have the process for utilization of $1,034,000 in FEMA awarded funds for an EOC. That would be a pop-up emergency operations center that would be a facility within a facility, so they did fund a portion of our potential new construction project. So we're about 1/8 of the way there. Infrastructure modifications to the current fire station C.S.D. office have been completed. Items included the THU fire sprinkler systems have been fully brought on board for the fire station, and we have a backup generator, mechanical systems, and the solar arrays continuing to show a positive benefit to both structures. Review of construction documentation and discuss the potential additions, modifications of or accessory structures will be required to fulfill future needs for the community. And the department staff has been in contact with local designers and builders to discuss the potential design and construction costs. That would be for our station addition. And what the estimated cost of the budget cycle and where is it funded from. Being that we're in the planning stage for that project, the actual cost is unavailable this time, but we do know that from attendance to the station design conference, nothing is getting more affordable. So construction costs, previous target numbers were $800 to $1,200 a square foot. Current costs are $1,000 to $1,500 a square foot. FEMA funding and limited use of capital resources would be proposed funding sources. We're also looking for additional grants. I had some good meetings yesterday. That's our process for trying to come to fulfillment for our expansion and staffing requirements.
Thank you.
So to circle back around to your original question about the $98,300, that is what is remaining of the cost for the sledge removal project that was approved several months ago. That will be starting either at the end of this month or beginning next month. And the $98,000 is just the difference between what was left in the operational budget and what was necessary to make up that the total $489,000.
Okay, thank you.
So capital projects for process planning for Machado wastewater treatment facility. Our construction of the Machado wastewater treatment facility upgrades and expansion start in 2026. Planning is complete. The project is currently in permitting. The grant agreement is approved and executed for $44.9 million, as discussed previously, and construction is expected to take 2 to 3 years. For this budget cycle, we'll be constructing the switchgear service of the wastewater treatment plant and start construction and improvements of the wastewater treatment plant, beginning with preparation for the installation of the Closina M9 NPR system. San Miguel septic sewer planning project for the septic sewer is expected to start in 2026. An RFP will be developed and the firm selected to perform the planning outreach for the septic sewer project to eventually connect 98 existing homes to sewer. A grant agreement is approved and executed for $1.4 million, and this is a multi-year project expected to take between 2 and 4 years. This budget cycle will be developing RFP, planning outreach services, and selecting a firm to perform the planning services and kick off the project. Sewer lining and manhole rehabilitation project. This is also a grant project that's been going on for almost 2 years, about a year and a half, I think. So far, we videoed and cataloged the sewer mains and manholes, surveyed all the manholes, and developed plans for line replacement and lining, as well as alternatives to line replacement. I contracted for environmental consultant for the project and the alternatives. The environmental work is nearly complete. And for this budget cycle, we're going to finalize the plans and specifications and cost estimates to continue toward construction. The SLT booster station. This is currently in planning to develop plan specifications for construction of a domestic and fire booster station for the San Luis Terrace. So far, the board approved the purchase of the permanent easement for the project from the county, and the board approved a contract for the planning portion of the project with ETF engineers. The board also approved contracts for CEQA and soils testing, which are in progress. This budget cycle will finalize plans and complete any necessary CEQA permitting and identify estimates for construction costs and determine funding for the construction. For solid waste, we don't have any projects other than normal maintenance, so that's why there's nothing there. If we have any questions, if you'd like to go back to any of the slides, or if you have any specific questions about specific line items, we can go to those.
hazardous waste would fall into solid waste, expense to the district. Still would fall into that.
Yeah, so that would be the only project that would fall under solid waste, but being that it's at the wastewater treatment plant, it actually would fall under the treatment plant. But again, there is no real cost to the district, so that's why it wasn't identified as a project for the district.
Okay.
But that will be hopefully being finalized plans and get into permitting for that in the next month or two. And then hopefully by the end of the calendar year, we can see some movement on that.
Okay.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
On those 98 septic sewer hookup, are the people with good septic tanks, are they gonna be required to do that, or is it gonna be choice?
So I think there's going to be a choice that depending on how many people choose not to do it will depend on whether or not it becomes the project becomes inviable or not.
Yeah, okay. And then, the other question. Like, we talked about, getting a water booster pump over there, but with all that waste over there, is there gonna be a pump to pump the waste to our treatment plant?
So part of the septic to sewer project would be identifying where, what the overall infrastructure would look like, where the lift stations would have to be, and develop that project to a point where it could go out to construction. So yes, that project will identify what the total flows would be. It would identify where all the infrastructure would go, develop plans for that infrastructure, and ultimately get us to a point where we could go out for construction.
Okay, yeah, because it won't run uphill.
No matter how much you try, it won't do it.
Yeah, okay.
One question I've got, one question I've got. I don't know if it'd be in every fund. Do you budget for the monthly credit card use? If so, what is that number typically, and what is the monthly limit for the cards combined?
So we don't budget specifically for credit card use. Each expense is expensed over whatever objects it belongs to. So if it's something that we're buying for repair and maintenance of infrastructure, that's one object. If it's something that we're paying for stamps, then that would get divided over most of the funds under postage. So we don't specifically have something saying this is the budget for credit cards, because each expense is looked at individually and applied towards whatever object